Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Yucca Valley Film Festival 2021. This is the first live stream we do this year, and we do it just a day before the festival actually starts. Yucca Valley Film Festival, Clint Eastwood is all around me. We started in 2019 in the town of Yucca Valley, California, and we went back in 2020, and we are back again this year in 2020. And we are also live on Instagram on the page of the Yucca Valley Film Festival. So that's why sometimes you're going to see me watching this screen and then back on this screen. If you want to follow us and see the actual live tonight, you can go on our Facebook and YouTube page. We multicast, we stream live on both these platforms. Tomorrow, the festival starts, a 3-day event, but today, this is about the scripts. We have a fine group of people with us today, and we're going to discuss a little bit about what they wrote, what it's about, who they are, and without further ado, it's my pleasure to get with me Madison, Nick, Ben, Sabrina, and William and Lucinda. How are you guys doing?
Great. Pretty good.
Doing great.
Very happy to have you. So like I said, we are live right now on YouTube and Facebook for the Yucca Valley Film Festival 2021 and also on Instagram. If you are on Instagram catching this, you're only seeing me, which is not enough. You need to go on YouTube and Facebook to see the actual pretty faces of all these fine people with me today. Okay, let's do that. So let's start with Madison, because I know you a little bit already. You have been participating to the Hollywood Art and Movie Awards we had in last year in Hollywood, and also to the Paris Art and Movie Awards, which is our biggest film festival to date. And you have a complete trilogy now. You've been participating to all 3 festivals. It's a different audience. So can you tell us a little bit who you are for those who don't know you?
Well, first of all, I want to say I adore the PAMA circuit, PAMA, HAMA, and now the Yucca Valley Film Festival. It's been great being a part of this giant family. My name is Maddie. I am based in Chicago. I recently graduated with a filmmaking degree, and my film is Golden. It's based on 4 best friends who spend one last night together before they graduate college. Uncertain of where life will take them, and the possibility of being separated is very scary. Mainly the story focuses on Katie, who believes life after college should be more planned out than it currently is. Yeah, that's my film.
Okay, very good. You said your film. So just to
Script.
explain to the people, Madison went to us, it was last year for the Hollywood Festival with a script. She got selected with a script. Then she actually made the film, and she went to the Paris Festival with the script and the film. And she's back at the Yucca Valley Festival in competition for the script again. Well, it's a good script, so you get to be back
Thank
again
you.
and again. Nick, this is your turn. Can you tell us a little bit about you, who you are, your background?
Yeah, I'm Nick Duke. My background is actually in post-production, is where kind of I started my career. When I was in film school, I started out writing, but then I was getting like advice like, oh, if you really want to like move up, you should become an editor. And so I started kind of focusing in that direction and kind of longingly looking back at writing. And so like as I went out and became an editor as a career, I always on the side was writing something always.
Something.
Yeah. And so it was within the last 3 or 4 years where I kind of went, you know what, I need to fully commit to my passion for writing, and that was my first love. So I've been going right back to
editing it. Is the last form of writing the script. So
yeah, and it's given me so much, in my toolkit for writing. Having done all of that, it's been so fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Excellent. Welcome to the Yucca Valley Film Festival 2021.
Thank you.
William and Lucinda, same question. Can you tell us a little bit about you? So this is a little bit special because you two write together. So it's a duo, a duet of writers.
It's the first collaboration we've made together formally. Although I did a trailer of one of Bill's novels, Welcome to St. Angel, and Bill wrote the whole trailer, but I edited. I also know how to edit, so I put it together. But this is the first time we've done something together.
Yeah, in this way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm basically a fiction writer. I mean, that's what
Okay.
I've dedicated myself to for many years, and write novels and short stories. She also made a film of my
That's right.
story, A Working Man's Apocrypha, which I did the voiceover and of course wrote the script, but Sin does everything else. She does everything. She does the camera work. She's a director. She does
Multitasking.
and she writes the music, but that's about all. So
Good.
talk about how this.
Oh, I briefly. The second honeymoon started with an idea that I had of a couple going down Highway 10 on as east all the
Don't
way.
say too much, Lucinda. Don't say too much. We're
Okay.
gonna go back to the pitch a little
Okay.
bit after.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Sabrina, you're next. Can you tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah, I'm originally from the Tunica Biloxi Reservation that's in Louisiana, but I now live in Los Angeles, California. I have a small production company called Black Castle Productions. I actually wrote this script and then brought my producing partner on, who I met at AFI, the American Film Institute,
Yeah.
and he got a master's in screenwriting, and I got it in producing. So we opened our own company and have started doing web series, shorts, feature films, and this script was actually based off my great-great-grandmother's journey when she was 14 on the Trail of Tears.
Okay, I didn't know that. That explains a lot. I mean, that doesn't explain, but that makes a lot of sense based on the story of the script. Excellent. This is going to be my next question for you, Sabrina. Ben, last but not least, Ben, who are you?
Yeah, I'm a actor and writer based in Los Angeles. I'm originally from Northern California, outside Sacramento. My writing background was initially in playwriting, and since that I've made the transition to writing for film. And Tilt is the script that I'm bringing along today, so it's a pleasure to be here.
We're going to talk about the script and what it's about in a moment. Sabrina, back to you. So I read in your bio that you are a Native American, kind of navigating the dark waters of the Los Angeles film industry.
Yes.
How is it treating you? How is it going for you? You said just before that you have your own production company. How do you stand out in that crowd in LA?
Well, I think I am the only Native American handicapped, I only have one hand, woman producer in all of Los Angeles. I have yet to meet anyone like that. When I first started in this industry, it was very difficult because people would think that I couldn't do things, even though before getting into film, I owned a dance studio for 12 years. So clearly I can do things, you know? So I decided,
proving yourself over and over
yeah,
again.
I have to prove myself a lot more than most people. I just decided one day that, okay, if no one's going to give me a chance to show my skills, I'm going to open my own company. And I got with one of my friends that I went to AFI with, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. And for the past 2 years, we've just been, even through the pandemic, we were shooting very safely. We never had anyone get sick during COVID.
Good. Congrats.
And we were just like, we're going to do our own stories. We're going to put our own content out there. It's all going to be original, and we're going to do our own thing since others won't give us a chance.
What you say really resonates with me because I host a lot of these talks, and I have the chance to discuss with a lot of filmmakers. And what you say is about, if you don't do it yourself, nobody's going to do it for you.
It's
And
true.
you have to start, you have to be the first to kind of start the machine, so people get some, so you get some traction and people get some interest in you after that. Quick reminder for Instagram, we are doing a live show with the script writers of this year competition. If you want to get not only me, but all the beautiful people today, you get on Facebook, Yucca Valley Film Festival, or YouTube, Yucca Valley Film Festival. We are streaming live right now. Come over, join us. Nick, back to you. You are in Los Angeles too, and you've been working in post-production for Paramount, for Nickelodeon, and a lot of big studios and big companies. What can you, when you have the chance to work on with big studios, do you learn some process? Do you does it teach you anything that you can use for yourself in your career?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things is, you know, any fear of getting notes or rejection is kind of beaten out of you because there's so much of it from so many different places.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that, and I'm grateful for that. Like I feel like it's given me so much freedom when doing writing, that I just kind of go for it. I don't think like, oh, I don't know if people are gonna, you know, necessarily like that. And if they don't, they'll let me know, and I can just take it in stride, and, you know, and it doesn't hurt my feelings or anything. So
you just take the chance. You go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I like that. I like that state of mind. It's it's very good. Lucinda, William, your script is set in Joshua Tree. Why is your script happening in Joshua Tree? Did you visit? Did something happen to you there? That I hope not, because the script, I don't want that to happen in real life.
Yeah, it's a true story. Right?
Where does it come from?
Well, we lived not far from there in Hemet, and for a while, and actually for quite a while, we used to go out to Palm Springs a lot and out to the desert, out on Highway 60, Route 66.
Yeah.
We've used it in our work, as many filmmakers have, over and over again, and it seemed a perfect setting for this story, which is really a suspense horror story. Anybody think
it is? Yeah. We both based work on that area, and just fascinated with the desert. You find old abandoned places from, 50, 80 years ago. Gas stations are all marked up with swastikas and graffiti. I mean, it's just weird. And that was perfect atmosphere for what.
Do you find it weird? I find it beautiful.
Yeah.
I find it inspiring.
Well, it's both. It's both really beautiful and uplifting, and then it can be very creepy and scary, so that's a beautiful dichotomy out in the desert. I mean, it's true of nature in general. You can be overwhelmed, and you can also be scared if you get lost, or, you hear some animal or something out in the woods, but it is a perfect locale for this story. And that's why we chose it.
I guess it depends how you look at it. Basically, and what do you look at it with a fear? Do you look at it with with artist inspiration? Do you look at it for the beauty of it, for the weirdness of it? Sometimes I guess it depends. Madison, you said a little bit before, it's about friendship and basically what the future holds. So that script has gone, like we said, to many festivals, not only ours, but many other festivals. I guess you wrote it at a point of your time when you were asking yourself these kind of questions. Do you have the answers now that time has passed a little bit?
No, I do not. I wrote it, kind of going backwards, I wrote it as my thesis project. So it was going into my last semester of college, same as the forming characters. And there was a lot of uncertainty about, the script is actually based on my 4 best friends at the time too. And it was just wondering if we were all going to stay friends, what jobs would look like, where we would go, what we would do, who we would be. And you know, I kind of like that I don't have the answers. I kind of like that the script doesn't give you the answers. It's open-ended for a reason, that you can.
It's more about, we discussed that already. It's more about the feelings, and
Yes.
it's really something that you can feel, the script and the movie itself. I remember we discussed about the Breakfast Club with you, and this type of feel good in a way and coming of age kind of stories. So that's still very true to you as a person, and you don't have the answers yet. That's kind of cute in a way.
Well, thank you.
So we have Ben. Can you tell us a little bit, Ben, a little bit more about Tilt? What is this script about?
Yeah, Tilt is, I guess it's a darkly comedic, psychological drama about two men who hole up in a cabin after a crime spree that they probably shouldn't have gone on, and they turn on each other when they accidentally take two hostages. I wanted to explore the phenomenon of self-destruction and why it often seems to be the path of least resistance, which I find fascinating. And then what we can do, or what ways there are to potentially break that cycle.
I like the way you phrase all that, accidentally kidnapped and this kind of stuff you say. It really reflects the tone of the script pretty well. It's a dark comedy. Did you think you're gonna film it? Do you think you're gonna shoot the movie?
Yeah, we're actually in the process of, we're gonna shoot a short film that's kind of, it's I guess it's more of a, it's not a direct adaptation, but it's more of a spiritual kind of
continuation,
sibling to that just was basically allowed by budget and that kind of thing to shoot. So we're shooting that in a few weeks in December. So I'm really excited about that.
Excellent. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's always a victory, filmmaking wise, when you have a script and you go into production, whatever, if you have budget or not, it's always a victory to go in this process.
Agreed.
Let's try to talk a little bit. For those who are following us on Instagram, join us on Facebook and YouTube. We are live with 6 different script writers, and we want to learn more about them. Join us on Facebook and YouTube Live, Yucca Valley Film Festival. Tell us a little bit, tell me a little about how you write. You have an idea, something inspires you, there's a story you want to tell. What are the first words you type? Do you start with dialogue? Do you start with a scene? Do you start with, I don't know, exterior, night, cabin? What is the first window, what are the first words that are going to open for you when you start writing the script? Who wants to go with that?
I can.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So first thing I kind of do, getting to the script stage. Before that, I've done like a ton of just sort of background writing on the characters and stuff like that. Yeah, and I'll have a Word doc that's just all
the notes,
kind of the character's life up to the point of where the story starts, and that kind of, because I'm not. I feel like I'm not so great at just like starting like on, here's the scene and here's what I need to go. All right, what leads up to this, and then that that gives me a ramp up to keep going.
So the background story, everything that's not in the script and that's not in a movie, but that's in the mind of the author, and the Bible, the character's Bible.
Yeah, and it can inform also what goes into the script, because the characters have this life that exists outside of the script page that I can draw from. And so like, if they have a specific memory of when they were a child, I know what that memory was because, I wrote it. So
yeah.
But yeah, so it gives me it sets a pace for me, because then I like to, if I do a feature length script, I try to do that in like a couple months, something like that.
It gives you all the reference points.
Yeah.
It gives you the context, the background, everything you need to kind of let your mind be free when you actually want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants
Exactly.
to touch on that? Sabrina?
I'm sure most of the scripts I've written have actually come from true life. Not really because I wanted to, but usually I end up telling my partner, my producing partner, hey, this happened to me, when I was younger or whatnot. And people seem to be very fascinated with the place that I come from, because I guess they don't know a lot of people who are Native, especially those who come from reservations. It's not on purpose, but they get fascinated by it. So it usually comes from life experiences or something I've read. That's how I usually start a script.
Yeah. Okay. And you're right. It's fascinating because we don't know it, and still I know a lot of people who want actually to know. So I think there's an audience for that. And
we're
I think
working on a television series that travels around to all 577 federally recognized tribes all over the United States.
Okay.
Because of that. It's education, getting rid of myths and things like that for the Native community, but trying to bring in people who are not Native or want to find out their, past, because they might have a relative way back when who is Native. We're working on that right now. But for script writing, it has so weirdly been like my life experiences that have gone into our scripts that we've been doing, which is all original content and has yet to be done. Because as you see, there's not much when it comes to Native content anywhere. And that Native content out there was made by people who were not Native as well. So hopefully I can be a small little push to get some new content out there that is geared and driven by Native community.
You have the whole talk in Hollywood about representation, diversity, and all that.
But Hollywood only likes certain types of representation.
Yeah, and that's
the
my
problem.
point. My point was we need creators, writers, and even people in the crew making movies who come from all different backgrounds, because this is how this is going to be true to the people and to the stories. There's no, I don't think there's any other way to do it. When you write the script, do you feel like the script in itself is enough, or as soon as it's written, you want to film it, you want to produce it? So do you perceive the script as a step to making a movie, or is the script enough to satisfy the artist you actually are?
I would only write a script to make the movie, because that's the root of the tree, and I suppose someone else could make it, but to us, that's really what is the motivation.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back a little bit.
Sure.
Usually when I write, or most fiction writers, and even nonfiction, and not so much nonfiction, but I just literally sit down, have a vague idea in mind, and just start exploring it on the page. And you have to kind of follow your instincts. And of course, it takes a while before you learn how to do this. But this was completely different. Sin had a ghost of an idea, and we just started talking. We literally sat down with a tape recorder, and we started just building it out. And we did that over quite a few sessions.
So you did sessions like some directors do when they kind of dictate, or they just tell the story verbally, and it's recorded, and then you take not the notes but the actual recording and type it back. Oh, that's actually the first time.
Then you refine it. It goes through a lot of refinement, because originally it was older. The woman was older, and then we decided, no, she's got to be young. It's important she's young. So we started out in a certain way, and then we made changes as we went. But we had many sessions. It was really wonderful because it was very creative. And
it is.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah, definitely. Madison, you want to touch on that? is the script enough to satisfy the creator you are, or is it a step to another piece of creation?
I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes I do just like writing, but most of the time, kind of like Bill and Lucinda, I have these sort of abstract scenes in my head or feelings that I really want to capture with the camera. So it's working backwards and thinking, okay, I need to write a script for this probably. So yeah, I think it's kind of the script is the way I can get my vision across, and actually get it on paper to then have a serious plan of what I want to film instead of these abstract ideas. And for Golden, the abstract idea that I just kept coming back to was Golden Hour. And
that
thinking
magical moment.
yes.
And you have that in Yucca Valley, definitely.
Yes. Yeah, I really wanted to capture this feeling, this ethereal moment in every day, basically. And then I had to work back and think, okay, what are the things in my life that give me that feeling? And it went back to my friends and to the moment in time that we had together. And then from there, I was able to actually build the story and think about the plot.
Yeah. Ben, for you, I guess, being in Los Angeles, you need to create content if you want to stand out at some point. Did you write the script? Did you give yourself a role in the script first?
Yes. Yeah, the lead, the younger lead role, and that'll be who I play in the, I'm going to be acting in the short. So, yes, I definitely, I don't always write for myself, but this one I definitely, for whatever reason, have continued to write it, and revise it and do all the work on it with myself in mind. Yeah.
Makes sense. It's interesting what you say, because most of the people I get to meet in Los Angeles, they write for themselves. You did this for this script, but you also mentioned that you usually you don't do that all the time. You also write for somebody else. That's interesting. Being an actor, writing for somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, my background is writing. I got my degree in creative writing. So I like scratching that itch regardless. And sometimes it's definitely freeing to not have the burden of trying to, create something for myself and being able to write different characters that, yeah, it's just a wider range of exploration, I suppose.
It makes sense. The distance you can have when you write something that you're not going to be in definitely makes sense. Writing is sometimes a lonely process. Your mind, yourself. Sometimes not. William and Lucinda are here to prove it. How do you let go of the script? And would you like the writing process to be more collaborative, like they do for the TV shows, for example, when they have a writing room? There are 7 of them, and everybody is dropping ideas, and they have the whiteboard, and then they go back to it and then write the show together. Did you have the chance to work as a team, or do you prefer to work alone and then build it from there? Who wants to touch on that?
I do. What was exciting about this was we work alone every day for forever. And Bill's in his study writing, and I'm in the studio painting or doing some other creative work. So I definitely wouldn't want to work with a team. And it's amazing how wonderful some of these series are, because when they have so many hands in the pot, cooks and whatever, it's amazing how good some of them are when you consider there's so many people. But to me, it is a lonely life, really, because you're working on your own, and so this was pretty unusual. It's one of the reasons that I love making films, is because I have a group of people that I work with, and it's a community, and that's very special. Because when you're an artist, you really are, you're alone, unless you're having shows and art fairs, and I do that too. But
do you guys feel the same? The sometimes loneliness of the artist creating alone before it goes to mainstream audiences?
Not me. I think I have a different perspective, being a producer first and foremost, and then screenwriting. I can put a story together as a producer, but I know that I need someone with that really specific eye as a screenwriter. And that's where my partner, Jonathan, jumps in. I put together for this script that we'll be talking about in a bit, The Place Where They Cried. I translated my grandmother's journals from Old Cherokee to English. Mm-hmm. It was over 600 pages worth of journals. I took that story, and of course you have to bring it down to like 150 pages, around that. Put that story in there because there's so much that's interesting about her journey. And then once I wrote that script, I said, hey, Jonathan, check it out. And then he went through it and did his little tweak and twinkles and all that kind of stuff. And we just bounced back and forth. It went through about 10 different drafts because we had some other people read it. And then they would always ask, well, what about the white guys? And we would be like, the story's not about them. We know what happened to them. We're trying to tell the other side that you don't learn in history class is the key here. But I love working with like my entire crew. I find it very exciting. I'm always bouncing off of them. He has lots of great ideas and stories, and I'm like, oh, we should put that in a script. And he'll do an outline and then bring it to me, and then I'll add on to it. And that might be just the type of person I am as a producer, because I know that some are not like that one. I'm a creative producer. I like to get in every aspect of it from start to finish.
Okay.
To make sure that story is really told the best it can be.
It's nice to have different perspectives on the same experience.
Definitely.
That's interesting. If you are joining us on Instagram, come see the full live show on Facebook and YouTube, Yucca Valley Film Festival. Right here, you cannot miss it. We are live with the scriptwriters in competition this year. You can only see my face here on Instagram. This is the first time we do that. That's a test. If you want to see everybody, come join us. YouTube, Facebook. Okay, join us. Sabrina, tell me a little bit, what is the script about? Try to be concise. But
yes, it's pretty simple. It's actually based on my great-great-great-grandmother's journey on the Trail of Tears from what's now Georgia to Oklahoma down to Louisiana. She was 14 when she was taken into stockades, which is kind of like the beginnings of a concentration camp, what most people are familiar with. And she had written, because Cherokees, which people don't realize, had a written language at this point in time. This is the 1800s. They had a newspaper already. They were actually bilingual. And a lot of people don't understand that. So she was a writer, and she wrote her experience down while she was going across during the winter. And I want to say it took them about 8 months. So it's really about her journey going from a 14-year-old girl who turned 15 on the trail, but really turned 30 mentally, because she was forced to, based on everyone dying around her. Like,
so it's
I think
it's a historical. It's a historical period piece.
Yes, very much
based
so.
on a very true story, and you're gonna discover a lot of things happening, and the journey of somebody that's really captivating. Definitely.
We've had some great feedback, because a lot of people think they know what happened during that time period, but then they end up reading the script and like, I had no clue that happened. Yeah. Because it's just not talked about. And I'm hoping with the script, if I can get it produced, because it is historical, of course, it'll cost a lot of money because you want to be historically accurate.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when I get this produced, it will really open people's eyes just to accept the fact of the history of this country. And it's American history, it's not just Native history, it's American history.
And it's a story that deserves to be told, definitely.
Very much so, because it hasn't.
In a completely different genre, Nick, what is your script about? It's Over Between Us.
Yeah. So it's about a woman who finds out her husband is cheating on her with her cousin. And it's about her her quest to confront them. And it's loosely based on actually a real situation that happened to a friend of mine some years back. And so the story is meant to kind of show the consequences of infidelity, not just for the parties directly involved, but to the family and friends around them. It sort of has a ripple effect through several relationships and can ultimately destroy them. And you see some of that in the story. So there's just like alliances being formed and broken, and yeah. So
Do you conceive it as a comedy or a drama? Because based on what you just said, it could be either or.
Right, it could. And when you read it, you find a little bit of both. And I wouldn't say it's half and half, but it's a very dramatic and very serious situation. But and I think it's just part of my personality and how I kind of view life is like, even in those situations, you can still like look at something and, you know, logically think that's funny. You might not laugh out loud, but it's kind of humorous, some of the things that happen in this script. But it's all in the plot of this woman trying to, you know, confront her husband and her cousin. So,
Ben, do you want to tell us a little bit more about the actual plot of the script and what it's about?
Yeah, Tilt is, I guess I already mentioned that it's two men. They meet in a while in a psychiatric hospital. And it's not so much about, you know, a lot of the other work I do is mental health advocacy work. So it's not so much to, you know, stereotype the idea of meeting in a mental hospital or that they're crazy. It's much more about, well, how do we react once we've been in a situation that that's profoundly changing your awareness of what you've been through, as far as having gone through a mental breakdown, and how you respond to that, and how they respond to it is not particularly productive. They end up on a sort of crime spree. We don't meet them until they're in a cabin holed up after it and sort of reeling from the events that have led them there.
What about the title in itself? Why did you title that Tilt? Because of the shift, because of the change of perspective, because of the actual events happening in the story?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it can have a lot of different meanings. I think, you know, it also is a term that's used in poker and in pinball, where you get so carried away that you aren't aware of the actions you're taking anymore. So you're on tilt, and causes you to lose the game in most cases, or make rash decisions. And that's sort of where both of these men, and ultimately the two women who are also in the story, are all sort of living on tilt.
Good, makes sense. Thank you for that. William, Lucinda, what is the genre of your script, and how would you pitch it?
Well, I would say it's a ghost story, but kind of film noir at the same time. We start with a couple that's having a lot of trouble in their marriage, and they literally go on this second honeymoon, which is a camping trip out to Joshua Tree. The husband loves to camp, the wife does not. He's 20 years older than she is, somewhat professorial. She's young and full of life and likes to party. He hates it that she's always having parties at the place, and he can't work in his study. So they're having some real troubles. And as they're going out towards Joshua Tree, they hit something in the car, and they don't know what it is. When they get out of the car to look around, they can find nothing except a bloody cap lying on the road and the swatch of blood across the fender. That's it. They find nothing. He's convinced that they've they've may well have hit a person, even though that maybe they limped off into them, but they're not sure. Maybe it was a coyote. What happens is that the person they hit, if they really hit a person, because we're not sure if he is a person, a fellow named Harold appears, and he's quite a menacing fellow. He seems to know Liz, the wife, and he really disdains the husband, calls him the school teacher. Seems to disdain school teachers. Well, a lot of things happen. He keeps appearing at their camp. That he's not welcome at all. He makes overtures to the wife. And there is something about him of the past, the way he speaks, the way he dresses. And he leaves totems around the place. They think, well, maybe these were some kind of Native American totems and they mean something, but they seem a little menacing. The final one they find on their car is a picture, a wedding picture. And the wedding picture has Harold in it, this menacing guy, but the wife's face is cut out of the picture. Okay, she says, don't tell you anymore. Well, I'll just tell you this.
That's already a lot of information.
I'll tell you this much more.
I think it gives...
it turns out this fellow is out of the past. He killed his wife and daughters, or his wife and 2 children, and several other people. And Frank's convinced they've entered a desert vortex where past and present intermingle. All they have to do is get home. I'll stop right there.
So it sounds like you have the characters, you have the setup, you have the conflict, you have a little bit of a mix of genres. It's a very good, it was a long, but a good pitch to get the sense and the atmosphere of it. Good job, William. In a completely different genre, medicine. It's a little bit difficult to tell about the story of your script and of your film, because it's a lot about feelings, kind of moments in time. Tell me a little bit about the dialogues and the fact that, if I remember well, you improvised a lot of things with your friends acting in the movie.
Yes, so as I mentioned before, the script is based on my friends, and when I made the film, it starred my friends. And so the dialogue was heavily based on what they say and how they talk. I worked with them pretty closely on the script once I had it really down, and just asked them to read it how they would read it, and if there were certain lines that they would not actually say in real life, to change it. And there were a good amount of moments when we were filming that they did change the script ever so slightly. I think I did a pretty good job of guessing what their dialogue would be, because I know them very well. But yeah, I think the genre also is definitely, it's a coming of age, but it's a lot more, it's pretty sad. It's sad. I have not had, I've had a lot of people cry while watching the film, but a good kind of cry, I think a lot of people can relate to, just in general, a moment in your life where you don't know what's going to come next, and you don't have things planned out for life after what you are currently experiencing.
Yeah.
So the script reflects that, and the dialogue reflects that, and there is a good amount of humor, because my friend group was just very funny, so there's no way I couldn't add some comedy in there.
It's a little sad. That's not what I would take away from the film or for the script. It didn't make me sad. It made me, in a way, kind of wanting to go back to these kind of moments.
Well, that's good. That's very good. I've had a mixture of responses like that. I've had people that don't really understand the script, don't really understand the film. I've had people know exactly what the moment that I am explaining and conveying to the audience is. yeah, I'm glad that it wasn't too sad for you. I've had
Not
a
for me,
mixture.
but it's just one person in the world. So, guys, we went way over time already. Do you have anything else you would like to add about, I don't know, about you, about your script, anything you would like to share before we wrap things up? Anything you want the people in Yucca Valley to know about your script? Did we miss anything? Are we good?
It's wonderful, and I hope you have a chance to read it. All of them, all these scripts.
Well, it's a pleasure.
What we actually did, in Paris last time, we put the script on the website. So if you guys are down for that, and if you are allowed to do it, because I know sometimes scripts are optioned and this kind of stuff, if you want to do that, shoot us an email and we can easily create a page on the website so everybody can go and check the script, and that could be interesting.
What's that
Right.
sound?
Oh, I think that's something outside my apartment. I don't know.
We have a
Sounds like
new
a cow.
joining the show.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you're interested in doing that, just send us an email, shoot us an email to say that you want your script on the website, and we're going to create a page and put everybody in the loop. Guys, thank you so much for being part of this live of the Yucca Valley Film Festival 2021. That was the roundtable for the script and the script writers right here. Some of you, I see a lot of people have joined on Instagram Live. I hope it worked, and I hope you joined us afterwards on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much. The festival actually starts tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. tomorrow, Friday. We're going to be live. Again, Facebook and YouTube and Instagram to kick off the festival and give you kind of a little view of a few films so you don't miss anything tomorrow. Saturday, we're going to be live with Michael Dante, who's a legendary actor. He's been in Star Trek. He's been in Western movies. He's been working with all the studios in the golden age of Hollywood, and he's going to share with us amazing life and on-set experiences. He has a new book coming out, so that's the occasion to have him for this year's masterclass at the Yucca Valley Film Festival. Saturday night, 7 p.m., again, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, we're going to have all the filmmakers from the short films. This year we have a first block of comedies and the second block of all the other films. We have westerns, sci-fi, we have action, we have fantasy, we have drama, we have love, we have everything this year at the Yucca Valley Film Festival. And Sunday, you have all the student films, visual arts and motions, music videos. Everything is on the website right here. And at the end of the day, on Sunday, 7 p.m., we're going to reveal the winners of the Yucca Valley Film Festival 2021. So this is a very quick overview of what we do this year at the festival. If you want more details, go on our website and you're going to have everything you need to know if you want to follow. Everything is going to be on the platform Zerb. All the films are free of charge thanks to the town of Yucca Valley. And we have more than 70 movies and artists this year. It was my great pleasure to have you guys with us tonight. Thank you so much. Have a very good rest of your day and enjoy the weekend in the Yucca Valley Film Festival.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was great. That was actually really great.